Welcome back everyone, I am the Depressed Eeyore and this is Dark Souls 3. I took a bit of a break this game for a while. That being said, I did play some other characters in this game and I did a little bit of passive leveling. As for me, I gained like 3 levels while watching E3 coverage and stuff like that. So that'll probably date this video. Also, I've been playing a bit of Dark Souls 1. I've never beaten Dark Souls 1, and I decided to go through and try it out. I will say that right now, I have a character that's around maybe level 30 or something like that, and she already has... I've never noticed this before. Oh, Titanite chunk. Great. But I have a character in Dark Souls 1 that's like around, level 30 or something like that, and she already has almost as much attack power as most of my level 90 characters in this game. But yeah, it's been a thing. A bunch of patches. I think one major patch has come out since the last video. I don't really remember. I could summon, but that really is just going to attract more trouble. This place tends to get invaded quite often. I think I mentioned I was going to go for the optional area first. But I'm actually going to go ahead and try to just get done with the archives, or at least get past the really tedious stuff about it. Anyway, you might have noticed that there's a those big hat wizard or mages over there, ow, where their spells do obscene amounts of damage. Now, if I go and attack him, he will teleport, and he will teleport to an upper floor area, which is super annoying because he'll teleport up there and then just start raining stuff down at you. And the other thing that will also happen is when you attack him, he'll go to another upper level and rain stuff down at you over and over again until you eventually reach his final spot and then kill him. Okay, come on. There we go. Crystal Gem, Twinkling Titanite. I will say one of the things that I definitely like about Dark Souls 1, and in most cases Dark Souls 2, is I feel more rewarded for exploring. Like in this game I'm kind of just doing it just as like a completionist thing, but like most of the stuff I pick up, it's like I don't even talk about it. I don't even talk about most of the gear. Oh, like I mentioned, we tend to get invaded very often here. I'm just going to do... Yes, it's pretty lame to, oh, I can't even get back to the bonfire from here. Usually I go back to the bonfire just because it's easier to recover from it. And he's probably above me somewhere, which is super annoying. Alright, so I'm just gonna go around this way. Thank you. Frame rate. I did play a bit of Sakia. Sakia's pretty much all she's got left is the archives and the final boss. And during that time I didn't get summoned at all for Blue Phantom stuff. You coming? Alright. You can come hang out with us. Say hi to YouTube. What's your name anyway? John the 4th. Alright. John 4. Wow, one shot? Really? These guys are vulnerable to fire? Because that's something neat. Anyway, you can dunk your head in wax here, and that'll give you resistance to some annoying traps that are around the area. For the most part, I don't care about most of them. Oh, thanks. Thanks for the help, Blue Phantom. So I'm guessing the Red Phantom's hiding somewhere. I'm gonna go ahead and ignore most of the treasure, just so we don't take up all of his time. This poor guy's time. Most of the Red Phantoms usually drop down and try to kill you that way, but looks like not in this case. It's a little hard. Oh wow, did someone attack the mage? Did the Blue Phantom attack the mage? Because I did not want that to happen. Unless he just teleports normally. Ouch! Homing shots. Alright, the Red Phantom's probably around the mage. Yeah, he's around the mage. He's completely around that mage. I'm a little concerned about parries, because he probably has a Hornet. Hornet ring or whatever, because that's what all PvPers have. But yeah, I mean, it's part of the mechanics. Obviously, if I had a seed of the giant tree or whatever it's called, I could use that. Alright, great. He got parried and killed instantly because Hornet rings. You might notice that the backstab's a little bit different where he stabs you into the floor. That's the Hornet ring. Missed. But he's gonna try to throw that at me? Okay, whatever. Frame rate. You. Wanna throw it again? That's fine. I'll wait out your duration. Go ahead, keep drinking. I'll wait out your duration. He's gonna parry. I like how his attack doesn't get flinched. But that's okay. Poke. Poke. I'm out of FP. Alright. Well, he's been taken care of, so let's go handle some stuff. So yeah, these hands will do a little bit of damage to you and build up curse. It's kind of annoying. But you can combat it as soon as I figure out where I'm going. Where is it? Ah! Alright, let's dunk our head in some wax and go on from here. I think I said this criticism before, but I'll go ahead and say it again. Even though I won that fight, it feels like I didn't beat him, I beat this game's web code. That's how it feels to me. Like, I don't feel like I've won that fight. I feel like I just happened to beat the latency in this game. In the stupid way they do their web code. Ouch. That didn't actually hurt. Alright, let's go deal with the mage. All we have to do is kill him once. And now that we have our troubles out of the way, we can just focus on that. It's still annoying, but... Also noticed in, I think I was talking about Dark Souls 1 at some point. I was talking about being rewarded for finding secrets and things like that and exploring. Like, you might have noticed I don't really read the descriptions in a lot of cases because, one, they're probably the same as what they were before. And yeah, it's just most of this gear is like the same as stuff I've seen before in Dark Souls 1 and 2. And most of it's completely useless because you either don't have the materials to upgrade the experiment, or you already know it's not better than what you already have. Ouch. Okay, that's a little ridiculous. Okay. Okay. I was getting slightly annoyed. God, that's so annoying. Alright, good news is he doesn't go very far. What I was hoping to do is clear out this area and then force him to teleport, but it didn't happen that way. But yeah, he's just like the other sage, except in this case he does not make duplicates of himself. He just takes advantage of the terrain. Alright, he's dealt with. And we get a crystal scroll, which is the last scroll that we need for what's-his-face. And yeah, I believe there's a shortcut nearby here, so let's go ahead and trigger that. But yeah, this is kind of the troublesome part, especially when there's invaders. But in this case, we did okay. I'm gonna go ahead and head down just in case. I think there's a door I have to open. Nope. In bookcase. We're at the bottom floor again. Alright, so that's good. This area is pretty tedious. It's very similar to a similar archives from Dark Souls 1, which, since this is practically the same area, geographically, I guess, it is what it is. It's the same area. So, expect to see a lot of the same stuff. It is pretty... it's okay to explore. The annoying part is, of course, the multi-floor mages raining bolts down at you the entire time, but it is what it is. The lever I pulled lowered this wall here, so if I go over here I can get a Titanite slab. Well, Titanite slab will provide a little bit. Not much. But yeah, I mentioned before the Hornet Ring, what it does is it greatly increases your parry damage, like, by a stupid amount. And that's what most of the PvPers work with. They just... They just parry baits until you get hit with it. Like, all he had to do is probably parry me once and it would have killed me. That's how strong it is. Not bad damage. Guess that hybrid thing's kind of working out. I tried using Black Fire Orb when I was helping people fight the Dragon Slayer armor. Didn't go that well. I mean, it helped. It did damage, but it didn't do very much damage. So there's like in this area you start seeing a lot of the crystal stuff, which is kind of like a form of like arcane that or a form of sorcery that was kind of like founded upon by Seath the Scaleless, I think, or something like that. I'm probably wrong. I'm trying to say some lore. I'm not really that familiar with it. But essentially, as far as arcane spells are concerned, it's generally the strongest. Mentions of door. Yeah, there is a door. Not sure how you get to it, though. Also, I should really dunk my head in wax. I usually just ignore it and take the damage. I do like the dark areas, because it gives it, you know, makes it important to actually do the, carry a torch around. Oh, there's a lever here. I don't think I ever knew about this lever. What's back here? Is that a mimic? No. Is that a mimic? No. So what is this? Power within. Okay. That's a pyromancy that gives you a self buff that damages you. And witch locks. Oh, this is where you get it. So I'll take a look at the witch locks. So this is the third whip you can get in the game. The third of the three. It's a whip fashioned from the black hair of the daughter of the Witch of Izalith, creator of the Flame of Chaos. The long shining locks woven together to create this whip are imbued with the essence of fire, which can be channeled through the use of its skill. Flame Whip temporarily coat the whip in fire, the same fire as that which consumed the witch herself, it is said. So it's a physical fire whip weapon, and it scales with dexterity, faith, and intelligence. So it's essentially a pyro whip. It's out of all the whips, this one's probably the most useful if you build towards it. Otherwise, mostly the whips are kind of useless, besides the fact that they can't be parried. Yeah, that's kind of the reason why I always point out that whether or not something can or cannot be parried, because that's actually pretty powerful in this game, because you don't have that many other options, because everything is, especially in this particular game, because the way poise works, or lack thereof, it just, you're taking so much, you can't just, that was slightly annoying. It wouldn't let me target it until I got right next to him. That's annoying. Anyway, but yeah, like, usually you can do something like, okay, I'll do a poise build and then I'll just trade hits. And so you can't parry while attacking, so that's something you can take advantage of. By the way, there's a shortcut here as well that I never used. There's also a crystal lizard right there. I never recalled there being one there. But yeah, you know, if poise worked as it originally did, you could have just worn heavy armor and did like trade blows. That way they couldn't, you would just wait out the opponent instead of having to walk right into their parries. But since that's not really an option anymore, it's pretty rough, to say the least. Alright, we can drop down on top of that. Yes, we can. Let's see if I can do this right. There we go. Because you can't just tank damage in this game, because everything that hits you causes you to flinch. that and everything hits ridiculously hard in this game. Or rather, it's harder, I don't know, it's... In Dark Souls 1, like, with my playthrough right now, I'm one-shotting most of the enemies, because of course I got the Black Knight sword, because I'm lucky that way. And I was able to kill, like, some of the really annoying bosses, like the Capra Demon in 3 hits, which was really nice, because screw the Capra Demon. But, in this game, it's like, in most cases, except for, like, the really, like, simple mooks, you're not going to be able to one-shot most of the enemies here, which, I mean, I kind of understand for, I guess, a challenge aspect, but at the same time, I liked having the ability to be like, okay, well, maybe my reactions and my rolling is not up to par, but I can make up for it by, you know, building a build that's a little bit more glass cannon and be a little bit more focused on just doing raw damage and things like that. But every single build that I've been messing around with feels like it does nearly the same amount of damage, which I guess is great balance-wise, but in essence that actually makes some of the weapons unbalanced because some weapons swing faster, have better hit detection and so forth compared to other weapons. So I don't know. I wasn't intending on being negative, by the way, on this part. It just kind of came out. Like I said, I've been reading various reviews, looking at various comments and stuff like that. I mean, I know in the forums, all I have to do is mention how good Dark Souls 2 is, and I'll end up getting a bunch of angry responses because people don't like Dark Souls 2 for some reason. And oh yeah, the Blue Phantom actually used this ladder to get up to attack the Red Phantom. Didn't really help him, but it did distract him, so I can actually, you know, kill the enemies on the way up the stairs. Anyway, I was gonna do something. Oh yeah. Oh, that's right, I was gonna go through the secret door and fight the freaking annoying monster here. I think it's just a bunch of little things. Well, I won't say little things, but a bunch of aspects about the game and just the general behavior and way that From Software seems to be handling their games now is kind of why I'm getting more and more turned off by this game. But the other... Hello, auto-tracking? Oh good, Frostbitten. Other reason is, of course, since it's more the same, especially story-wise, it's like, there's not really anything keeping me going for, like, as far as, like, a reason to keep playing. Like, it's not the lore, because the story's practically the same. There is lore in the game. I mean, I've watched Foddy's videos and all that fun stuff. But... It just doesn't... Like, the overall plot isn't much different. Like, as far as, like, the story of this world, it hasn't changed. It's still the same. Even with this third ending that you can do, it's still you're still dealing with the same issues. Wrong. Don't think that works. No, it doesn't. Because, I mean, you could be like, oh, well, I can end the cycle by, you know, just taking the fire and not rekindling it. But that's already happened multiple times in the cycles. There's been a cycle of darkness and of fire. So neither choice really matters. Which I'm like, okay, I mean, if that plot doesn't really matter because it's nothing but cycles, I would have preferred that they had, you know, focused on some other aspects about the world. Be like, okay, well, since the cycles keep on happening, you know, now this is what's been going on, but they don't seem to be going in that direction. So that's towards progress. I need to go and get my souls, because I have like 100,000 of them or something. Also, I need to drop down there eventually. I would like to pop my Ember, but doing so would attract my doom, essentially, so I will not. I am shocked that I didn't get attacked. But yeah, if I pop an Ember now, I'm gonna promote a invasion, which I really don't want to deal with right now. I mean, I understand reusing assets. I trust me. I understand the benefits of reusing a bunch of assets, but at the same time, I can only stand seeing the same freaking pieces of armor over and over again. Alright, let's deal with this nonsense. Alright, we got the Outrider set, which is kind of cool. It doesn't help that most armor is practically the same now. I mean, Fashion Souls is a thing, but I wouldn't mind, you know, having a reason to change my gear besides just pure fashion. The stats don't really matter that much. Anyway, over here you can get the Soul Stream spell, which is the Kamehameha wave. Okay. So, what am I missing? I know there's probably a few drop-offs I'm missing. Try contraption? Thanks. Actually, let me, Scholar Ring. That gives you plus int, I believe. Over there's a very angry knight. Alright, let's go ahead and drop down and, show off that stuff. I'm kind of just doing it for completion's sake and just showing you guys what's around. Ouch. Hey. I hate when the items pop up. This is like... it's just in the way. Alright, let's do this. I think I mentioned this before, but the enemies don't play by the same rules. Like being able to stab through walls. Or cast through walls. Titanite chunk. That's nice. Alright, so I'm gonna have to climb back up again to get whatever I missed. Because the freaking crystal lizard ran off. I think I'm going a little over time, but I want to get all the loose ends in this area taken care of, because there's going to be more that we're going to have to deal with in a second. What I would do to actually have a working poise system. If this was Dark Souls 1 or 2, I would actually be able to attack while trading blows with those tiny creatures. But not in this one. I wouldn't mind it so much if they actually gave me Bloodborne controls, but they don't. They gave me this sluggish roll that's not that useful. Actually, one thing I was going to do was I was gonna equip that one ring that ups your iframes while rolling at the cost of, you know, physical defenses. So I might try that. Oh, I'm hollowed again, by the way. Not that that really matters. Yeah, these guys can throw wax at you. It will, the more wax that you get covered in, the slower you'll get. You know, I'll just dunk my head, it doesn't matter. So let's go get our souls and, try to take care of the last of this nonsense. At least my damage is respectable. I wish they would not constantly spit out the same enemies that are just simply stronger. Trying to recall if Dark Souls 1 did that. I don't think 2 did. I mean, actually I need to call this a video, so Depressed Eeyore, Dark Souls 3, see you guys later.